Well, hello Internet. I'd like to introduce to you Super Civic. Welcome to VTEC Academy. You're about to get schooled. Okie dokie, we bought an eBay 3-inch exhaust for EG, and this is what is going on our drag car. Now, do we really need all this exhaust for drag car? No, we do not. But I would like to make a street legal too. So we are going to install this on the EG and then make pipes to connect our down pipe from the V6 to this. So we got our 3-inch factory exhaust, which is built for a D series or a B series, so it actually jogs over this side to give room for the original shift linkage, but we just cut it and rotated that offset 180 degrees to get us over to our J series header. It
Sweet.
Worked out pretty good.
Worked well.
So guys, it's Dyno Day, and we are here at Exact Dyno, and we are going to tune Super Civic. Super Civic, of course, is a J32 out of a TL, like 2007, 2008 TL, and it has a Comptech Engineer or CT Engineering supercharger kit that was designed for the Ridgeline. Now, this never made it into production. Unfortunately, the company is out of business, but we have the supercharger and have installed it on our J series powered EG. So let me talk to you a little bit about what this car has. It's using the EG J1 mount kit, which mounts the engine for maximum clearance. That way, if we decide to lower the car really low with the slicks on it, it's not going to have a problem. Plus, I'm thinking about street driving it. More on that later. Now, we built this car to test the new swap ECU made by Hondata. Hondata now has a swap ECU for the J series based on the TL ECU. So you need to run the cars or the engines that have the single outlet. We're actually going to try to make this car legal for OBD1 emissions. We have oxygen sensors, we have a catalytic converter on it, and we're hoping that we can actually street drive this little street freak. The paint job was done by the cobbler a long time ago. It was commissioned by a local Honda dealership, but they never did anything with the car, so we wound up purchasing it from them when they decided they didn't want to do it anymore. We have Tim Kelly in here from Exact Dyno. He's going to be doing the tuning. Right now the engine is, the interior is pretty bare bones. Basically, we have a full roll cage that was built by Whitfield Racing, and it is ready for drag racing. We are going to try and install some of the interior back in there and make sure that it is legal for some sort of street class. See those two long poles that are hanging out back there to the back of the car?
I need NOS, one of the big ones. But actually, you know, let's make it two.
I'm thinking about hanging a couple of large nitrous oxide bottles on that. What do you guys think of that idea? We are in the process of building this for drag racing, so we are here for our first tune to see what it does with the supercharger, see if we can't get it to idle and run a little bit better. But there it is. This is Super Civic. I think we're going to need some Super Civic emblems to go on it as well, so I'm going to start working on that. And we'll start working on the interior. It's one of the cool things about J series motors. They actually sound quite good. So you'll be hearing that in a moment. Sometimes you can't hear it over the roar of the supercharger. We're going to try and get a little bass tune going on and see if we can't make this thing drivable. That was, whoa, blowing out blue smoke. Not good. That's oil smoke. made torque earlier that time. About 290 at 3,500 RPM. Car still doesn't like idling. Peak horsepower and peak torque are pretty much the same right now because we're really not revving it above 5,000 RPM. So that is more or less mathematically matching our torque with peak horsepower. Tim just told me, and I didn't realize it, that he had been just tuning on the low lobe on VTEC. So we're going to get the high lobe this time. We'll see what it does. All right, if it's going to make a little power or blow up, this is when it happens. VTEC, but I didn't get much more power. The supercharger is designed for a 3.5 liter. This is a 3.2 liter. It should be producing more than enough boost. We're going to have to look at the boost rate, what's happening with boost this time. Ooh, 320. Lovely. Okay, a little update on what's going on. If you look at the trace there, this is our boost. And at about 4,000 RPM, it starts losing boost. So what's happening is the belt is slipping. Even though we've got just a ton of wrap on that, remember the tension is actually set not by that upper pulley, but by the bottom pulley, which is spring tension. So what I'm going to do in order to get around that problem is I'm going to run a shorter belt so that we max out the spring tensioner so it cannot go any more. And then when I do that, I can take the mechanical tensioner and I can just use that to actually tighten the belt more and get rid of the slip that we're getting. So again, right now we're getting belt slip at about 4,000 RPM, and that's creating an issue where we are not getting any more boost at above about 4,000 RPM. So we're going to call today a quit. We did about 320 horsepower, pretty good torque up until the belt starts slipping. So we're going to just go ahead and call it a day and make a few improvements and see what we can get. After our little trip to the dyno, we noticed the belt was slipping, so we needed to do something about that. So what we did was we got a slightly shorter belt, and this time when we put it on, we actually made sure that the tensioner, the auto tensioner, was fully bottomed out so that it was not adding tension at all. And then we used the mechanical tensioner to go ahead and tension the bolt. So we got it significantly tighter. I think it's going to hold. We should be able to get all the boost and all the horsepower. So that should help us out. Now, before we go back and dyno it again, we actually have an opportunity to go to the drag strip. This weekend, IFO has a test and tune out at our Wild Horse Pass drag strip, so I think we're just going to send it. What the hell? I mean, Tim did a decent job of tuning it. Even though we didn't get it tuned fully with all the boost, I still think it's a safe enough tune. If we put 100 octane fuel in here, we should be absolutely fine. And if we blow it up, no big deal. It's a $300 motor. I don't really care. Anyway, we're going to head to the, we got a bunch of stuff we need to do in order to get this thing ready. In fact, I have a list going on right here. We've already put the new seat in it. We need to put a kill switch in. We need to have some sort of tachometer so we know when to switch. We need to make up some door panels so it looks a little bit nicer. Repair this left-hand window regulator so we can roll the window up and down because it's hot here in Arizona. We don't want to have it up the whole time. Let's see what else. We need a cowl, and that should about do it. That should get us ready. Oh, and I need to check out the slicks, make sure they're not cracked because we haven't run on them in a few years. So if they are, I'll just give M&H a call and see if we can't buy a fresh set. But we should be ready to go here in a few minutes. Let me show you a few things about what we're doing with this. Now, we have our battery in the stock location. If you look up here, I have this Duracell battery, kind of like an Odyssey battery. It's a small diameter. I actually made a plate that went in where the factory plate goes in order to keep it in the stock location. Our kill switch is actually this. It's a solenoid, and what we're going to have on the back of the car is we're going to have a small toggle switch that will operate the solenoid. And the way we have the wiring hooked up, if we kill the solenoid, it should kill the power to the ECU and the fuel pump and turn off the car. So I think this will work perfectly actually for our kill switch. Now, a lot of drag strips don't require a kill switch if you have the battery in the stock location, but it's a good idea to have some other way of externally turning off the battery if you need to. Other than that, I think it's ready to go. So like I said, we need to do a few things and then we're going to head to the track. Here's something I haven't seen in a long time, a monster tack. I actually had to dig around in a bunch of my old stuff in order to find that. Now, I could not find a mount, no idea where that is, so I decided to whip something up real quickly. So I used SolidWorks, which I use every day here. Made this quick little bracket that I can mount on the steering column. I will go ahead and bend it up and mount the tack in there and mount it on, see how it works out. I probably should paint it black though, so the sun doesn't glare off it and blind me while I'm flying down the road. Anyway. Well, that's what it's going to look like. I'm not going to mount it just yet because we need to actually modify the wiring a little bit so that we can plug it all in. You notice it's at an angle. What we want to do is have it so that our red line is straight up and down on this. That actually makes it a little bit easier to kind of notice it in your peripheral vision. We're not going to be running a shift light. I've always found those to be a little bit irritating. And after a couple of runs, I can usually just do it by sound. This will let us know what's going on. Get back next week. Lean's following something. I got a cool new tool. This is precision belt. This is a quick type torque wrench, but check this thing out. Okay, 3/8 and a 1/2 inch. That's pretty sweet. Perfect for my race toolbox. Now I have a torque wrench for whatever I need. That's awesome. So, lock, unlock. I need an extension. It's not rubbing. So I checked this out. I did not have a 1/2 inch extension, but what I did have was a 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter. Here's my tire now.
Nice.
Precision belt. Link in the notes. Part number 2748. We just got both EGs through tech. This one's good for 11.5. Once it goes faster than that, I need scatter shield for the clutch and I actually need SFI axles, so probably be hitting up drive shaft shop for that at that point. It may go faster than 11.5. It feels pretty powerful, so I'm just gonna send it on the first try. I mean, I'm not really sure how the launch is gonna go because of the fact that I haven't launched this thing on slicks, and last time I did it, it was not supercharged, and it was 15 years ago. So it's been a bit of time since we've had this out to the track. So it'll be interesting to see how it launches, and if it goes faster than 11.5, then I'm going to be done for the day with this car. So the target today is 11.5 or better. No idea how many times it's going to take me to get that. By the way, the fastest I've ever been on the drag strip is 11.8, I think, in a supercharged K24 CRX on road racing tires. This thing should, on paper, be a little bit faster. We haven't had a final tune, but I'm betting we're pushing 375 to 400 horsepower with the way it sits right now. We threw some 100 octane gas in it, so the tune we have should be safe. So we're going to take it out and send it, and see what it does. Give it all the beans, all the good Okay, so we went out there and ran an 11.6, and I probably had 200, 300 yards where I could not get into fifth gear. So the car's fast. It's violently fast. I took off, I did the burnout box, and one tire got a little bit better traction than the other one, and it just tried to rip the steering wheel right out of my hand. It was pretty freaking crazy for the first time, but we launched in second gear. Third was great, fourth was great, went to go to fifth and probably hit the reverse gate. It's a 6-speed transmission, so I totally forgot. We forgot to wire up the reverse lockout. So I'm going to do that real quick. We're going to lock out reverse gear, and this time I should be able to hit fifth gear, and we'll see what she'll do. But I'm predicting possibly even in the 10s. This car is fast. Wow. I found a momentary switch. This I can just push and it disconnects the reverse, so this will be better. Off this last run.
I wonder if they got it for us down there.
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure this was here.
Something weird going on here. We keep getting slower every run. I'm not sure what's up. I don't have data logging turned on right now, and I'm not going to take it out for any more runs because it needs to have another tune, and on the dyno we might be able to figure out what actually is going wrong with this thing. So we're just going to go ahead and just let it set for now. We do have another dyno appointment next Friday. As a matter of fact, Doug from Honda is coming out. We're going to put this thing on a dyno pack. Doug's going to help us tune it, and we're going to figure out, maybe do some data logging while we're doing the tuning as well, see if we can't figure out what's going on. If not, we'll take another visit to the track, take a few runs of the data logging on and see if we can figure out what the heck is going on with this thing. But we're done for today. We're gonna put it away, and we're just gonna drive this. Hey guys, thanks for joining us on another episode of VTEC Academy. We're gonna get this thing sorted out. I think this car can run in the 10s, and that's what my goal is right now. So we're gonna have to make a few safety improvements to make sure it's legal, but we'll figure out this engine, we'll figure out the tune, and we're gonna get this thing into the 10s. If you guys would like to see more stories like this one, think about liking and subscribing, and also hit the bell so you get notifications whenever they come out. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.